the teams most likely to trade with the Chicago Bears for that #1 overall pick. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. And you guys know I have been covering this #1 pick coverage like a blanket here. And I promise I'm going to get to the other videos here. There's a lot of end of season stuff I want to talk about with the Bears players, giving them grades, etc. But this is just a hot topic right now, and I want to get out as much content about it as I can because the news just keeps coming and coming, right? Every day it's a new team that I see that's interested in trading for the Bears #1 overall pick, and this is going to define the offseason. What we get for this #1 overall pick is literally going to be the main story of the offseason because it is the biggest story of the offseason for the Bears, this #1 overall pick. So we've talked about obviously trading it, and we've talked about a number of teams potentially that could trade for it. Let's rank them now. All right, let's rank them. So at #1, I think this one's pretty obvious, and I've told you guys my prediction. It's the Indianapolis Colts. Their general manager was asked if he would move heaven and earth to get a quarterback and trade up to get one. And he basically said, yeah, he would. He'll do anything. So they are the definition of desperate. They're a team that literally is in the perfect spot to trade with the Bears because they're in the top 5. So the Bears don't have to move down a lot. And they've got the draft capital and the resources to trade with the Bears. So the Colts make the most sense based on all factors considered. So they are #1 for sure. #2, this one's a little tough. I'm going to go roll with the Texans. Not because I feel like the Texans may be as desperate, though they certainly could be as the Colts, but because of the fact that I think the Bears might not want to drop down a lot. The Texans are literally at #2. So this draft capital to move up won't be as high, but you're only dropping down one spot. So you'll still get some draft compensation and be able to take a Carter or Anderson at that #2 overall spot. Because if you drop down a lot, you're going to miss out on those prospects and some of these guys you might feel are generational. So the Texans are at #2. #3, I'm going to say the Carolina Panthers. Now here we go with the steep drops into the bottom of the top 10. The Panthers are at #9. That's a significant drop from 1 to 9, which also means you would get a significant compensation from the Panthers. So that is certainly something that the Bears have to consider here. If the Panthers really entice them by throwing in DJ Moore or Brian Burns, something like that, you see where the Bears could certainly go in that direction. #4, I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders. They draft at 7, so not as low as the Panthers at 9, but still not top 5. The Raiders obviously are going to move on from Derek Carr this summer. They could look to address the quarterback position by trading for the #1 overall pick. I can't imagine they think Jarrett Stidham is the answer, even though he had one good game. And so I think the Raiders could trade with them. The Raiders don't have just as much to offer, I feel like, in that aspect of it. Like, I can't imagine the player being like Devontae Adams, if you will, but it'll be draft compensation. And finally, at #5, my sleeper team, the Tennessee Titans. You know, I could have went with the Atlanta Falcons, who actually have a higher pick, but I think the Falcons are going to give Desmond Ridder a little bit more time before they try to trade up for quarterback. The Titans, on the other hand, they feel like they have a ready-made roster, and they just need that quarterback position. So they might trade up and draft a quarterback and move on from Ryan Tannehill. So that's another team that I could see looking to trade with the Bears. Now that the Titans are really far down at #11, but we've seen crazier things happen here, people. So the Tennessee Titans could certainly be another team to watch out for, okay? I know there's teams like the Jets out there, and there's a number of other teams that could use quarterbacks, but to me, these are the top 5. Basically, I would be shocked if the Bears don't end up trading with one of these 5 teams. Again, just to recap, 1 Colts, 2 Texans, 3 Panthers, 4 Raiders, and 5 Titans. I believe it'll be one of these 5 teams the Bears trade the #1 overall pick for and get that haul that Ryan Poles is looking for. Do you guys agree? Any team that you would change or reorder, leave a comment down below. Let's talk about it. As always, thanks for watching.